Now, when we talk about a third wave of COVID, one of the biggest fears is that it may hit children harder because they are the section of our population currently for whom we don't have a vaccine. Now, stories of large number of kids being infected in Maharashtra, 10,000 children testing positive in Ahmednagar in Maharashtra, the Delhi government announcing pediatric task force dedicated to kids if a third wave hits, all of this has parents worried. Now, there have also been reports of a healthy 18-year-old who suffered a heart failure post-COVID. This has also raised many questions. This 18-year-old thankfully is well and recovering now. But experts say that parents needn't worry. They say that data from the second wave says that while children are equally prone to getting COVID, there is no evidence to suggest that they will get a more severe disease or will be more severely impacted. In an allied development, clinical trials now for Covaxin for use in children have begun. The vaccine is being tried on over 500 healthy volunteers between the age group of 2 to 18. So these are all very interesting developments that have taken place. Let's go across to Dr. Chandrakant Laharia, epidemiologist and health systems specialist, who's written extensively about what will happen to children if a third wave hits. We also have Dr. Ashwini Mehta, senior consultant cardiologist from the Gangaram Hospital joining us. He is in fact the doctor who treated the 18-year-old healthy kid who had heart failure as a part of his post-COVID complications. I want to come to you, Dr. Chandrakant Laharia, first, because I think the big cause of concern among parents at the moment are all of these news stories about children predicted to be harder hit, questions about, whether we need dedicated pediatric task force, ICUs for children. What's your assessment? Do you think there is enough evidence to suggest that children will be harder hit? God forbid there is another wave of coronavirus.
So there is no scientific or epidemiological evidence that children would be harder hit in any subsequent wave, be it third or fourth wave. Let's look at some numbers. We know that out of every 100 people, the proportion of children or proportion of population which is 0 to 18 years is around 37 to 40 people. So in every 100, there are 37 to 40 people who are younger than 18 years. But look at the numbers of people, proportion of those in this age group who are admitted in moderate or develop moderate to severe illness out of 100 people. And that proportion is only of every 100 patient who were admitted with the moderate to severe condition, only 8 were younger than 18 years. So what it conveys, while there are 37 to 40 in every 100 population who are younger than 18, but only 8 are admitted out of every 100 people admitted in hospital. So proportion of sick children who contribute to overall number of children is really small. Now that's one part. What happens in adult who are around 60% out of 60 in every 100 who are adult? Around 92 are of the sick people are adults. So adults have a disproportionately higher number of admissions than the children. That's one. Second part is that we have not seen any change in the proportion of children out of total population who is getting admitted increase. So there is no reason to believe that this would subsequently increase. I also want to bring third dimension that we have seen in the United States, which is doing a really high number of vaccination, and the vaccination coverage has reached around 50% for the both shots, and another 40% has received one shot. So there is a discourse in India which says that as the vaccination will increase, children will be at higher risk. But there is no reason to believe. Data from United States say that the children do not become proportionately higher as part of the total number of sick people as the vaccination coverage increase. And finally, I would say that one of the key things to remember is that whatever we are hearing as part of that in Ahmednagar, 9,000 children developed infection. But yeah, children do get infected. But we know that in Ahmednagar district, 86,000 of the total people in that month got admitted.
Right.
So 9,000 was 11% only, which is far less than the total proportion. And the number of deaths was only 2. So children do get infected, but the moderate to severe illness is very, very rare in children.
All right. I think that's a very important clarification because you're absolutely right. The Ahmednagar story of close to 10,000 children being infected did send panic waves among a lot of parents. But what Dr. Lahiriya is clarifying here, and it's important to understand the context of that story, is that at the same time, there were 86,000 people in that area who had got COVID, out of which 9,000 were children and only 2 children died. So the point that you're trying to make here is that there's no evidence to suggest from the second wave that children will be harder hit. I want to ask you a quick follow-up question before I bring in Dr. Ashwini into the conversation. Dr. Lahiriya, there's also a theory which suggests, and questions have been asked on whether the Delta variant of COVID has the potential to A, cause more severe disease and therefore potentially cause more severe infection in children. Is that fact or myth?
So, recent preprint study which has come out and which has been done by the National CSIR ICGB group, what they have done between the November 2020 to April 2021, they have looked at the genomic sequencing, and they found that by April 2021, the Delta variant has become the most predominant variant in city of Delhi. Now, they also found 2-3 other things, that this Delta variant is 50% more transmissible than Alpha variant. Now, we know the Alpha variant was already 50% more transmissible than ancestral variant. So, This is definitely higher transmissibility. It also has shown some sign of breakthrough infection or immune escape, but Indian study or Delhi study has not found that it caused severe illness. But we are hearing from United Kingdom that some of the probability there that Delta variant could lead in severe illness. But what we need to remember, that even if that variant caused severe illness, it will be across the age spectrum. It is unlikely to affect children disproportionately.
Okay. Right. I think the other important story, and I'd like to bring in Dr. Ashwini Mehta here as well. He's a senior consultant cardiologist at the Gangaram Hospital. He treated recently an 18-year-old healthy child who suffered heart failure. Dr. Mehta, was this a one-off? Do people, even younger people, need to be very careful? Can you tell us a little more about this case?
Yeah, in fact, this is a complication post-COVID infection. And as we know that the COVID virus infects various parts of the body, it affects predominantly the lungs, but it also affects the heart. Many people would develop a post-COVID inflammation of the heart, leading to the muscles of the heart getting inflamed, causing myocarditis. And once the myocarditis occurs, it can cause heart failure. Now, something very interesting, when this boy came to us, he did not have any features suggestive of fever or anything. He just came with heart failure. And he was in a life-threatening situation and required to be admitted. And he also had multiple ventricular arrhythmias, which are life-threatening. And he had to be given BC shock and various treatment modalities. But subsequently, this boy recovered. So this could be one of the cases of COVID infection presenting at myocarditis, which is really unusual. And when we did his COVID antibodies, they were strongly positive, and the family had history of COVID infection. His other siblings and parents did have COVID infection just about 10 days prior to that. And he had a very high level of antibodies, suggesting that he did suffer a COVID infection recently, leading to the damage to the heart.
Right, but he was healthy with no previous heart condition?
No, absolutely healthy. And he was a very good player. He used to play football and he was doing very well. Right. There were no symptoms at all. And this developed gradually post one bout of fever, which just lasted a day. And after a week, he started to feel very weak.
Right.
And his day-to-day activities were difficult to do.
All right. Well, I think, and you of course treated him and he's well now. So that's also an important clarification that we'd like to give our viewers. And you're also saying that this is the rarest of rare case, but it has happened. And therefore, I think it's important that everybody monitors their own symptoms and reports any anomalies at all to a healthcare professional, especially if you're recovering from COVID. Thank you so much, Dr. Mehta, for joining us. And, congratulations to you on your timely intervention and saving the life of this 18-year-old boy.